Personnel.
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 Non-essential personnel. Personnel. There's a long line of people waiting for one of those spots.
In your experience as Deputy SA, we'd like you to take on some managerial responsibilities. Personnel related, if you're game.
Yeah, sure. What is it?
I'll have Sean take over.
I think I can do both.
No, it's okay. We're not starved for personnel anymore.
Now listen, we're gonna need those files on Sheehan and the rest of the staff as well.
No personnel files will be released to you, period.
Attention. Will all personnel please evacuate the building? This is not a drill. Will all personnel evacuate the building?
She doesn't work here anymore.
Listen, we're going to be changing our phone number. Personnel issues.
We rejected almost 100 essential personnel and minors.
Did you figure out your personnel issue?
I don't know.
U.S. medical personnel estimate he can travel in 3 days.
Estimate?
Code 7. All non-essential personnel and guests, please remain where you are. Security personnel should report to their staging areas and await further instructions.
Is this personnel file like you asked? Honestly, after what happened between them, I don't know why Sam kept them around.
What are we supposed to do, just stand here?
Not you, Mr. Castle. All non-essential personnel must evacuate.
Oh, no. I am essential personnel.
Castle.
Future business partners. He loves learning for the sake of learning. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Oh, for God's sake, sit here. Here.
Is he a liar, Jackie?
Go! All right. Getting stitched up, for Pete's sake.
Just trying to do our job, Ricky.
I can't excuse him just because he's your brother.
Oh, it's for Dolly's sake, too.
4 committees today.
She's on the phone right now? Charlie, you've got to break up with her.
I can do that? For Christ's sake, I need to use the phone.
For heaven's sake, Frosty. Not everyone sees the world through your eyes.
You're opening a new office, and you're doing it fully 2 years before I did. Not me, for God's sake.
For God's sake, Becky, just pay the degenerate and be done with it.
For his sake, I hope you can.
You ask for his help? What kind of shit is this?
Come on, who is this guy, huh? Christ's sake, I've been running your shit through Clearline for years.
About Kara.
I thought I'd get us all back together for one last little bit of field work. For old time's sake.
Approximately. 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 Approximately.
Approximately.
All right, footage from Camp Pendleton tagged classified. How old is this? Approximately 24 hours. Approximately 24 hours. Approximately 24 hours.
I'm gonna exit the shower stall now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to remain in this shower stall for approximately 30 seconds. Approximately 30 seconds. Approximately 30 seconds.
Fantastic.
Died at approximately 11:20 p.m. according to the medical examiner.
Train number 774 will arrive in approximately 15.
We've been through your records, Major. All it says is that there was a detention facility at Larkhill, approximately 10 miles north of Salisbury.
How long after the murder was this photo taken?
Approximately 30 seconds.
Approximately 2 minutes ago, the 7th Circuit clerk phoned me back. The length of the redaction, if measured out, is approximately 12 letters long.
She said she heard the call at 11:30 p.m. approximately.
So, Mr. Clausen, you heard Brandy screaming, "Get away from me, stop it." And how far away were you at this time, approximately?
From the screaming?
Look into this, Dr.
And you've been seeing Tara Bach for how long?
I've been her OBGYN for about 7 months now.
I see. And when is she due?
In approximately 12 weeks.
The autopsy revealed that she gave birth approximately a month ago.
I spoke with him earlier today. He confessed to having a few drinks at the hotel bar and misplaced his credentials for approximately 20 minutes.
Bank.
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 Woo. Looks like the Bank of Africa wasn't allowing any withdrawals.
But Oliver Queen shut it down once he realized what it could be used for.
What?
It can be modified to open a bank vault. Any bank vault.
The Blur, the Flash, the man in the red suit, whatever he's called, he was spotted at the bank this morning.
You mean the bank that was robbed of $500,000, where a dozen people tried to murder each other, and you think our attention should be focused on catching Santa Claus?
So we've arranged the house and the car for you and placed the money that you put aside in your bank account.
What the asshole? Oh, shit. No cash? Where's your bank manager?
Go to the island tomorrow.
Yeah, I do.
Bank the deposit.
I do.
Dead, maybe. Not according to Social Security on a bank account in Virginia.
Just inside 40 miles, sir. Sir, they've turned north. They're moving to the same side of the bank as we are.
Safe deposit box. Bank of Chester's Mill.
I'll drive.
Say, I feel good to be on the offensive. If I can't scrape the money together behind the scenes, I'll rob the bank in broad goddamn daylight.
His character. He basically walked into FEMA and said, stick 'em up and show me where the vault is.
Oh, so now I'm a bank robber. 6-gun Underwood, what they call me in South Carolina.
Resignation.
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 Well, in that case, I resign.
Resignation accepted. Resignation accepted. Resignation accepted.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
What do you want me to do?
Take it. I accept your resignation. Resignation. Been nice knowing you. Bye, Beth.
Jeffrey.
My letter of resignation. My letter of resignation. My letter of resignation. Our differences, I'm afraid, cannot be reconciled.
You send in a fucking secretary to do my work. You might as well accept my resignation now.
If I can jump in, I am technically classified as an agent. Full agent. So
here's her resignation.
Is it a picture of a baby seal?
Your resignation has been accepted. The matter is settled.
My lord, you have my resignation. Really, Carson, there's no need to be quite so melodramatic. My resignation.
That's your resignation letter. Hand it to the lawyers on the way out.
Please, take a seat.
My letter of resignation.
I can't accept that. You're too valuable to us. Let's confirm his resignation. No point in keeping it a secret now. Tell Steve he can vacate his office.
Orderly. Orderly.
Orderly.
Orderly.
Orderly.
Guard's uniform anymore, which means I can't get across the yard or past the orderly and past the orderly and past the orderly. And two, even if I did, it's a mess down there.
You got anything from the security cameras? Not according to the orderly here. The orderly here.
Just take him for ice cream.
Let me at least call you an orderly and get you a wheelchair.
I don't need a wheelchair.
The orderly heard Lecter whispering to him all afternoon and Miggs crying. They found him at bed check. He'd swallowed his own tongue.
Well, Madison, retreat in an orderly fashion to the storage room.
Finally, some orderly comes in and stuffs my Albert in an oversized Glad garbage bag.
President is being attended by physicians. Please make your way in orderly fashion to the street.
This area, okay, there's buses waiting outside. If you could all make your way outside in an orderly fashion, the buses will take you to safety.
That's why he's staring.
Dr. House, please.
There's a music box in there.
Orderly.
You're not really going to pretend you don't remember that I was an orderly in the hospital right after your accident?
Hunter, can I get you guys to stay at the top here, all right? Keep everything orderly. Make sure we don't leave anyone behind.
I snagged the last croissant
And I only had to elbow one orderly out of the way to get it.
Consumer.
Consumer. Consumer. Consumer.
Consumer.
Museums and schools, with wealth comes responsibilities. Wasn't just some mindless consumer like so many of my so-called friends.
As you see, a range of strengths allows the consumer to apply what's needed where needed.
That is indeed one unbelievably kick-ass computer.
Not to the consumer.
Well, then maybe your consumer should start to learn how to operate, how to even work that.
Listen, boys.
I got your job. Family Mart, the 4th largest discount consumer retailer in the nation.
Make the delivery for which you have claimed responsibility to the appropriate consumers.
Mr. Harper, this is Jane McKenna with the FTC Bureau of Consumer Protection.
So the idea is to drive the consumer to the site through a
Oysters.
The captain identified the largest non-commercial consumer of kilowatt hours in the area. I was a consumer of narcotics, and you were someone with access to pharmaceutical-grade product.
Plate letters to read.
Did you drop out of school and get a job in consumer relations?
No.
It's called the fist of capitalism, a searing indictment of our consumer-driven culture.
Seriously? Anyone here besides me a consumer of vapid online magazines?
Client.
Client. Client. Client.
Client.
Well, I got a client that would like to see that footage.
Client, what, you have clients? Client, what, you have clients? Client, what, you have clients?
Why do you think you can...
It turns out the client was this lamp.
Cute.
Well, I do not know, but I am sure client number 000, client number 000, client number 0006914325134AB121619993 will have a smile on his or her or their face. Snooze flash, you're...
I'll have to check that out.
I'm sure the letters will be in your files, Mr. Pine.
Well, that's what you say, but I have a client to protect.
Been found on the victim.
Evidence is still being processed.
Well, then you let me know when you come up with something that will stand up in court. Until then, my client isn't in any condition to answer.
Did you kill Christine Stanford?
Something I need you to do. It can be a crash course in client relations.
Ivan.
Excuse me, Richie.
Who were you looking for?
I was actually looking for, Miss Liesel Gropp.
Miss Kopp is down the hall in client services.
Mansfield keeps talking about someone opening up a new office. If I could land this client alone, I'll be that guy.
My client requests the privilege to make an opening statement.
This whole house is brimming with hard cash, most of it in the walls. My client estimates its value at $2 million.
Their initial silence.
So Maddox had money tied up in the gallery, and the gallery was a client of Donald Houser's.
Office.
You have to keep my client safe.
Your client is going to have to tell us a lot more about the Serbians before witness protection is on the table.
Investigate.
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 Direct supervisors.
Did you tell her to investigate on the Veracene case?
In what way investigate?
I hired you to investigate my wife. Investigate my wife. Investigate my wife.
Investigate her for what?
Your grandpa thought he saw an unidentified flying object in the pig pen.
Well, I know a lot about aliens. Let's go investigate. Go investigate. Go investigate.
No, I'm not here to date.
Obviously, but you are here to investigate anyone that comes into her life, okay? I'm gonna get some intel on the professor. You investigate Sasha and go out with Nicholas.
Don't you think we should at least investigate the situation?
We investigate any time a firefighter's killed on the job. The building fire was a bad one.
Cal, you were not hired to investigate Ribacor. You were hired to investigate who broke into their lab.
Mayor brings in a guy to investigate, and he's already on your side.
Neither are you. We'll be investigated for murder now.
I know. And I'm so sorry that I'm not sounding rational right now, but nothing about this is rational. I'm being investigated for a crime that I didn't commit. Exactly.
I'm calling to let you know that your assignment is to investigate Briggs.
Will what he did affect that ability?
You investigated me. I investigate anyone who comes into Neil's life.
Both manage the fund together.
Until they were investigated on suspicion of market manipulation.
Procedure.
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 Security protocols, but reprogram them to what?
To change the lockdown procedure. Lockdown procedure. Lockdown procedure.
There's a drilling through the ice to deploy a remote underwater probe.
So how will that affect procedure? Procedure. Procedure.
I have a procedure to follow. I have a procedure to follow. I have a procedure to follow. He didn't provide his coat willingly, so I'm going to have to get a court order.
Artie, please don't make me worry about you, okay? No cowboy shit, just stick to procedure.
Flows within me. I realized I'm not your ideal candidate for blood brother, but the procedure was too dangerous. I couldn't allow anyone else to risk it.
Worked with him after he moved to New York. Then I saw your name as the emergency contact for a surgical procedure he had in Denver.
I'm positive. I followed every counter-surveillance procedure known to man, and then some known only to me. So.
Who would sign up for an illegal experimentation of an untested surgical procedure?
I don't know. Make you feel better.
But we would like to serve notice to the defense pursuant to Rule of Criminal Procedure 15.
Attack. It's possible.
Starling General has a very strict policy against experimental procedures.
Wait, there is a procedure that could save his life, and you're saying you won't perform it?
You're not listening to me. This is one procedure that I cannot do alone.
But you're unwilling to try it?
Injection of adrenaline is a comparatively new procedure.
Your orders.
Give me that. I'm her doctor.
She consented to this procedure.
Let it go, Lourdes. She can't consent.
Apparent.
Apparent. Apparent. Apparent.
Apparent.
Pepperidge here, how marvelously he made that candle float with no apparent support.
Apparent, I think, is the key word.
As the voice of London passed away late last night from apparent heart failure.
The plaintiff's apparent condition, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, was more than 50% of the problem.
I have a DOA at the Deal Farm, apparent homicide.
It quickly became apparent that we crashed into the original landing zone.
Dr. Lightman, you're here to observe the councilman's reaction to the news of Miss Cannell's apparent murder. Apparent? Lightman, that's all you're here to do.
I'm not.
Meaning what?
Meaning I don't usually get drunk and try to turn on strangers for no apparent reason.
Spared no expense. He did this for two apparent reasons. One, to guarantee that his first and only son would arrive safely into the world.
It had become increasingly apparent in this war,
Mrs. Solis, I'll be at a market.
no prisoners would be taken.
I just don't see the family resemblance.
It's there. It just takes a while to become apparent.
Anecdote. It's not science. Oh, I see. It was the apple falling on Newton's head. Was that just an anecdote? You are not Isaac Newton. No, that's true. Gravity would have been apparent to me without the apple.
Faithful.
Faithful. Faithful. Faithful.
Faithful.
I'm in love, that's why.
I see there's not one woman on this list since you've been married.
What's your point?
You've been faithful? Faithful? Faithful?
From this moment on, I shall be your loyal and faithful servant, faithful servant, faithful servant, until death.
Your texting does not prove you're faithful. 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 This proves you know she thinks you're unfaithful. Okay?
You should have left me where I was, a happy and faithful wife.
Thea, we will handle this, I promise.
Like you promised Walter you'd always stay faithful to him?
I do. But I believe the Dome is here to protect us.
Only the faithful.
I am not Dahlia. I would never be unfaithful to you.
He doesn't care. Now that he knows she was unfaithful, it's over.
And for that reason, and so many more, I promise to be eternally faithful and to honor you so long as we both shall live.
If Desmond was throwing everything they have at us, then she's their way to get to Finch.
Still the faithful watchdog, huh? My faithful and adoring husband. I love everything about you.
Telescope.
Telescope.
Telescope. Telescope. Telescope.
Glass cap. An optic?
Yes, sir. A glass lens.
As a telescope? Telescope? Telescope?
Not unlike a telescope, sir. Thank you, Cornelius.
It is prismatic?
Shit, bloody!
She begged me. She wanted to buy some stupid telescope. A telescope. A telescope. The deal wasn't even very good for me.
It's a curse. Our family is cursed.
I don't care what she wanted.
What?
There. Doesn't that look like a radio telescope? Radio telescope? Radio telescope on the hill?
Oh, it sure does.
Daddy, can we look at the telescope now?
Oh, hey, buddy.
We found a safe house, but we can't get a vantage point to fire a telescope over the balcony wall.
Look through the telescope, as my friend said. Perhaps another time.
It's not good for the heart. System is ready to reactivate.
Hubble telescope engaged. Upgrade fully functional.
Old. God knows if it even works. We had the perfect terrace for a telescope, though.
San Francisco Bay.
And 400 years ago, that's when Galileo first saw Jupiter and its moons through his telescope.
Jungle to show me his world. And in return, I introduced him to ours.
That's a telescope. That's my grandfather's telescope.
When I was a kid, I built my own telescope.
Wow.
That's pretty easy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present lot 231, an ancient refracting elongated telescope constructed by the Italian scientist Galileo.
Consumption.
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 Consumption. Consumption.
How did she die?
Consumption. Consumption. Consumption.
Consumption. Consumption. Consumption. I'm 21 and I've never been kissed on the mouth.
Magwitch was told that the child had died. Consumption. Consumption. Consumption.
This consumption of films has increased our audience's both appetite for them and now knowledge of them.
Life is an act of consumption. Jupiter. To live is to consume.
Hey, what is the fuel consumption of a Tiger tank?
I mean, unless we talk about cutting consumption, and so far that's a conversation none of us want to have.
The water supply.
We can induce people into comas to reduce their resource consumption.
But one developer realized that the only way to reduce heat and power consumption was to bring the components closer together.
Correct. Since cyanide takes effect within 20 minutes of consumption.
Retire.
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 Seriously. You want to retire? Retire? Retire?
Smith, Barry Sanders, Curtis Martin.
May I remind you that they are all retired. Retired. Retired.
What do you want?
Get him retired. Get him retired. Get him retired, Judge. Before you do, just this once.
So, I was just thinking, man, I know you're retired, but I need to bring you back.
Jesus Christ, the guy did R&D for Boeing for 32 years. He's retired, Steve. He's teaching for fun.
I had it built. That's why I'll retire.
Charge him by the lie. We can retire tomorrow.
Or give us tomorrow's lottery numbers and we can all retire early.
An emergency. And Sam gave you the P.O. box. He was about to retire. If Ellen reached out, he wanted somebody to be able to help her.
They say that men who retire early have an 80% greater chance of dying young.
Even though he's retired from the police force, he still carries his gun.
Last murder case before I retired.
How many bodies do you see there?
Represent.
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 United States. Represent the President of the United States. Represent the President of the United States. So am I.
I represent some very unhappy clients.
Represent sacrifice. Represent sacrifice. Represent sacrifice. Suspension.
Citizens can't stay at the hotels. They should stay someplace that represents something.
So the physical will represent the sheer strength needed to make the pattern.
The tropical rainforest represents the original Garden of Eden.
To us, the book represents knowledge.
I'd be Goldfinger. I'd represent Goldfinger.
Yeah, but he has a laser.
Crap, you're right.
He said if I was going to learn the family business, I'd have to represent the family business.
This guy was supposed to represent me when I was being forced out of my job.
They don't represent death. They represent the lives we save.
Diversion.
Diversion. Diversion.
Diversion.
Diversion.
Her sexuality as a diversion tactic.
I don't follow.
No. Do not let Raina see that woman. Create a diversion. Create a diversion. Create a diversion. Now.
What kind of diversion?
A big one.
Jack. I got him. Jack, where are you?
It's a diversion. It's a diversion. It's a diversion. The painting in Schraven's office. It's right out of Napoleon's play.
Here by the drive-in screen are your political prisoners. All right, we'll cause a diversion over here. Cut holes in the wire here.
Plane scheduled to depart LAX at 8 p.m. to Mexico City.
What if he's moving the safe as a diversion?
Peace, I will respond in kind with a little diversion of my own.
I escaped. Leo wasn't so lucky. That walk face down and gave him a beating reserved for me. Anyway, he wants us to save ourselves using a similar diversion.
And they're not going to stop until I'm dead. Because I'm the diversion.
And she said she needed to get inside, and I was supposed to create a diversion to scare the owner out.
Soldiers for his army.
Abducting Thea was all a diversion.
He wants a diversion.
All we're doing is talking. Let's not get anybody else killed here. No more talking to them.
Kill each other. We got here just in time.
Well, it must have been a diversion because there's $500,000 missing from the vault.
Uh-oh, there's an explosion at Iron Heights. This was all a diversion.
Prison was the real target.
Suddenly there was this explosion. It was enough of a diversion for me to get away. And when I got back to my people, it was...
Indoor.
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 Or a robotic gutter cleaner.
Or an indoor pool. An indoor pool. An indoor pool.
Or a two-man submarine.
Oh my God, is this where your mom lives? You think my mom lives indoors? 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 Okay, look, I know. We can't worry about our outdoor business. We barely have an indoor business. Indoor business. Indoor business. And we never will with that attitude.
We're indoors and it's well night. Do you have a sensitivity to
light? No.
Man.
Key to a civilized society is a well-informed public.
Oh, that and indoor plumbing.
Oh, I forgot about indoor plumbing.
You know, only Mark's powers seem to be a lot more precise. To be able to control the weather like that indoors?
No? Of course not. I'm a theoretical physicist, a career I chose in no small part because it's indoors. But trees indoors, overuse of the words tis and twas.
Because we were stupid enough to fire a cannon indoors.
And? He was afraid to stay indoors because of what happened to him over there.
Oh, everyone! Let's go! We gotta get indoors! Keep your pinkies close! Everyone get indoors! Let's go, everyone!
A horse and carriage. No, a horse couldn't get upstairs. It's a snow palace. An indoor ice rink. The whole wedding would be on ice.
Life expectancy. No, that's your world.
I like room service and indoor plumbing.
Cancel. Cancel.
Cancel.
Cancel.
Cancel.
Before she is old enough to cancel dinner plans at the last minute with a text that reads, "Sorry, busy."
Sir, if you're sick, you should cancel the meeting. Cancel the meeting. Cancel the meeting.
I'm not going to cancel the meeting because I'm not sick.
Veto. Where do we draw the line? Well, then cancel the meeting. Cancel the meeting. Cancel the meeting. Start a fire, something. Clark, we don't have time.
He's the one Leo strangled.
I guess you cancel this.
At least the department can go ahead with the inspector's funeral this time. It would have been pretty scandalous if they had to cancel 2 in a week.
Right, Dad. We know how much this tradition means to you, so we both decided to cancel our plans.
Was she expecting anyone after you left? Any appointments?
No. In fact, she had me cancel them all for yesterday.
Alibi. She might have made that phone call. Why don't you guys go and pick her up?
Oh, damn, that means I'm gonna have to cancel that lunch date with Stacy, bro.
No, you can't.
Oh, I didn't know you were back.
Cancel my afternoon meetings.
Tom, can I talk to you?
That's me. It wouldn't be like this.
Cancel whatever I have for the rest of the day.
Yes, I do. Some of these are leftovers from Mrs. Matthews. We can cancel whatever you like.
From being able to do my job.
And when you cancel meetings, it prevents me from being able to do mine.
Which is why I wanted to talk, so we can work things out.
Disappear.
Disappear. Disappear. Disappear.
Disappear.
Whisper. When these people whisper, Mr. Holmes, millions of dollars disappear, disappear, disappear. He needs to disappear. He needs to disappear. He needs to disappear. Probably forever.
Never happens, honey. So relax. It was a freak thing. Bodies just don't disappear. Disappear. Disappear.
My best bet is to just disappear.
Put them on and just disappear.
There must be something we can do.
Run. Disappear. Because if you don't, he will kill you.
Mercy, Archangel. Spare me and I'll disappear.
To where? You're an 8-ball.
You're gonna wire $5 million into a numbered account in the Caymans, and I'm gonna disappear. Call it my severance.
Once they enter the country, using temporary work visas, they disappear.
Okay, I don't care how much gold you dangle in front of them. That hatred doesn't just disappear.
Has been stolen. So if you just leave the same way that you came in, you can just disappear.
You gotta promise not to come look for me.
I don't look, I hunt.
Previous.
Previous. Previous.
Previous.
Previous.
A previous experience in retail. Does shopping count?
But we do have young Eliza here, who I do not believe you've had the pleasure of previous.
In the previous version of today.
The previous receiver.
See?
She's the one they all talk about.
There has been a slight rule change. The previous revision, allowing for 2 victors from the same district, has been...
501, then I'm gone, clear?
Yes.
I gather my previous employer mentioned my...
Of course, if
I've got no idea why her previous boyfriend cheated on her, but I'm glad he did.
Previous carpenter did not do very good work.
With the wages they pay us, who could blame him?
Would you believe me if I told you I was a track coach in a previous life?
A dove before.
To call your previous efforts a dove is to insult the entire avian class.
One of Dubala's previous docs was prescribing ultra-high doses of niacin-bound chromium to boost his HDL.
Sponsor me in the program. My previous sponsor moved out and went to Leesburg. That's in Florida.
Capitalism. Capitalism.
Capitalism.
Capitalism. Capitalism.
They're not your eggs.
That's capitalism, babe. That's capitalism, babe. That's capitalism, babe.
I say again, America sucks.
What's wrong with that? Capitalism at work. Capitalism at work. Capitalism at work.
Division does the kills. Ramon makes the videos. Gets all the credit.
And this guy hates capitalism. Capitalism. Capitalism.
Like college kids.
Yes, or like capitalism.
And then you replenish the team.
Coming into money.
How do they even know to send that to you?
Capitalism, it just knows.
It's called the fist of capitalism, a searing indictment of our consumer-driven culture.
Somebody stole the fist of capitalism? So for reasons unknown, Hayes thought someone might swipe the fist of capitalism.
J.P. Harding Investment Bank. This place is either the engine of capitalism or the poster child of greed and corruption, depending on which paper you read.
Here's the good old-fashioned American capitalism. You can keep a man down, but you can never keep him from getting it up.
Says he became radicalized in prison and turned to organized anarchy and anti-capitalism.
Everybody makes out, problems go away. It's capitalism, man.
Substitute.
Substitute. Substitute. Substitute. Substitute.
Were to substitute, say, Nepeta agrestis.
For Viscum colorado.
You're not gonna make me say all the stuff I learned from you now, are you?
Well, you'd have learned a heck of a lot more from your dad. I was a pretty poor substitute. Substitute. Substitute.
Who is he?
The guy's name is Ben Suter. He's a substitute teacher here. He's a substitute teacher here. He's a substitute teacher here.
I, Daniel Lugo, hereby acknowledge my guilt. I know what I did was wrong, and there is no substitute for hard work.
To get you started, wherever it says Briggs, I want you to substitute Mike. It'll help you with the whole undercover name association thing.
Ground dens.
Right. Substitute containers for dens.
No, there's no substitute for actually spending time with the patient. You just can't get around it.
I'm a feeble substitute for the entire Crawley family.
His drive to kill overpowers his self-preservation instincts. He didn't kill Erica, so now he needs a substitute.
He's made his position clear.
We all shook hands at this table.
The most I can do is put the substitute amendment on the floor with limited debate.
Well, it's the history that counts, not the other things, right?
That's true. No substitute for history.
Commend. 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 Commend.
Commend. Commend you. I commend you on your promptness. You have discharged your debt to me. You are free.
Good for you, Lynette. I commend you for your honesty. I commend you for your honesty. I commend you for your honesty.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it requires a bravery that I couldn't imagine. I commend you, sir, and I commend you, sir, and I commend you, sir, for even being in this court.
Oh, no, please.
Steve's done an admirable job assisting me as an advisor during this period. And while I commend his actions and his initiatives.
To you, O Lord, we commend the soul of Alphonsus, your servant. In the sight of this world, he is now dead.
And so, adieu, which translated literally from the French means to commend before God.
Morning, ma'am. Do you know why I pulled you over?
To commend me for saving that chipmunk's life?
No.
Yeah, man.
Listen up, everyone. I just wanted to commend all of you on a job well done, as I always do at the end of every case.
Detective Beckett, Mr. Castle, I would like to commend you for your exemplary work in the face of headwinds from me and my office.
You've opted for murder instead of divorce. I suppose I should commend you for being so goal-oriented.
Commend your tracking abilities. Sense of smell is often the most neglected of the five senses.
And you, disobeying a direct order at the bowling alley call?
The thing you commended me for?
Insubordination all the same.
Beard.
Beard. Beard.
Beard.
Beard.
What do you mean gone? What happened next?
But you that I have a beard. Since when did I have a beard?
What's going on with the beard?
I'm doing research. I don't want to be recognized, okay?
This beard took me like a year to grow.
It's a rugged auburn. But a beard for months. Go on, touch it.
Who? Derek? No, with the beard. Beard.
This homeless guy over by the newsstand?
That's my exact sense of humor. I like your beard.
Thank you. Keeps my face warm.
Plus, the kid, he noticed some gray in my beard. That flipped me out.
I'm here looking for my husband. Thin beard, long hair, Japanese.
Don't know any Japanese.
Here at the college, shaved his beard, 6'5", and the bastard is dressed like Navy Irish.
You don't get a good lather with it if it's that dry, and it won't raise the beard.
All right, pal.
That if the soap's dry, and you won't get a lather, you raise that beard, it's not gonna be clean.